actually to like print out pizza if you wanted? I mean, where exactly is 3D printing going? What's the future?
So I think there's two answers to the question of where's 3D printing going. One is the dream of 3D printing. And so that one's easy. For 3D printing, the dream is you have a design, you have an idea, you have some sort of digital representation of what you want to make. So you have a recipe for a pizza, for example, and then you have a machine that with a click of a button will take your design into the real object of what you want. And so that's what a lot of people have in mind when they're building 3D printers. They say, okay, I want to design something like a phone or a car or something like that, click a button and then turn that into a final product. Now, as for the reality of where 3D printing is going, we're talking about the digitization of the physical world. And we did that with information because we found some really clever shortcuts in binary that really reduce things to either a 1 or a 0. But the world we live in is extremely complex with hundreds of elements, and when they combine with other elements, it causes all sorts of challenges. And so, realistically, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, what you'll see are low-cost specialized tools. So a 3D printer that can print with plastic, or one that can work with metals, or things like laser cutters coming down in price so that it's easier and more accessible to average people. And what I think the result of this is going to be is just an explosion of creativity in both arts as well as things like open source hardware, because these technologies are out there, they exist, except they're very expensive. It's really similar to like a 1960s mainframe computer. They were out there, companies were using them, but your average person who had an idea couldn't really get access to it. You had to be in a university or a company or some sort of institution, but it wasn't individual. And then desktop and personal computing really changed all of that. And now anyone that wants to use a computer or use all of this amazing software can easily go out and get one and use it. And we're seeing a very similar thing happen with 3D printing, where you have low-cost 3D printers, you have people writing software, in this case, designing things to be made on the printer. And so it's just getting easier and easier and easier. And my hope is that someone will find a way to do multi-material 3D printing really easily and just make the whole process extremely simple.